Hello everyone, my name is Devin, also known as DH Artist, and welcome to my first official Disney Infinity build tutorial. Today we'll be building my Splash Mountain ride that I featured in my This Old Toy Box series. Please keep in mind that it won't be park accurate to the real Disney ride, but rather my own design and something fun that you can add to your toy box. Now before we get started, don't forget to check out my other Disney Infinity videos, as well as my Deep Dive series where I cover a variety of comic books cover to cover. If you enjoy these types of videos and want to see more content like it, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Now this is going to be quite a long video, mainly because it's my first tutorial and I'll constantly be looking over my notes. So let's jump into it. And speaking of jumping into it, I'll be playing as Judy Hopps, since she was one of my favorite characters from Disney Infinity 3.0. Now the first thing we're going to do is open up a brand new toy box, just an empty one, and go ahead and name it. I'm actually just calling this one Splash Mountain 2022, but feel free to name it Splash Mountain or just something of your choice. So starting in our empty terrain block, we're going to come over here to the right hand side of where you usually start, and we're just going to go to the Terrain tab and go all the way over till we get to, let's see, it is till we get to the small flat terrain block, and we're actually going to place 4 of these down, and you can start by going over to the far right corner there and just place 4 across. Then we're going to add 2 more above those and then go back across and fill them in. So we've got 12 of those small flat terrain blocks. Then we're going to go over to just the terrain block, and then we're going to line that up, make sure it's level, and then add that in the corner, and then place another right there. Now let's go over a couple to the tiny terrain block. We're actually going to make this the mountain, and it's going to go right here to the backhand corner, but you want to leave 1 square space open. Put the square in, and then you're going to put 9 of these in. So we're going to put 1, 2, and 3, then 4, 5, and 6, and 7, 8, and then 9. Next, we're going to come back over here and grab one of the long, tiny, and thin terrain blocks, and we're going to line it up so that it's along the edge there and place 3 of them. Rotate it, and you're going to place it right along the edge there. And then you flip this one, and you're going to raise it up. Place it in front of that block there, and you're actually going to add 1 more right there. So that adds a little bit of a stepped plateau. Now you're going to come grab one of the thin and tiny terrain blocks. We're going to place 3 of those. Next we're going to come just to the terrain cube, and you're going to center it right in the front of that block there. And then let's come over here to the other side. And you're actually going to come just a half over, and so it's on the line there between those 2 terrain pieces, and you're going to place 3 of them. Come back over to that wall, you're going to place 1 right there. And we're going to place this on top of that long terrain block, so that'll go there. You can leave an empty space between, place 1 there. Coming down, you're going to place 4 of them, so you're going to make actually just a box there, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then over here we've got 1, and come back over to this side and actually place 1 there. So I should have put that in first, but that's there. Now go ahead and add another 1 there, so you've added those 2 there, and that's how those look. Now I'm just actually going to grab this long tiny terrain block, leave it there, but just using it so I don't have to go back and choose it, and then I'm going to place it right alongside there, so it's actually going to line up with those. And so that is basically the mountain that we have. I'm actually going to grab this tiny terrain cube and move it right there. So now there's 2 there. So now you've got 2, 4, 3 moving across. Now, let's see. I'm just actually going to pick that one up so I can get to the bars, and I'm going to move all the way down here now to... Ah, there it is. So you're looking for the small, narrow terrain ramp. And we're going to go ahead and place 3 of these down. So you're going to line it up right there, come down, line it up right there, come down, and place there. And you're going to go across in basically the same space. You're going to place it right in the middle there. And we're going to go up and level and then up. There we go. So all 3 of those. Now we're going to come down here back to that cube, and I'm just going to use it as a guide, the terrain block. So I'm going to come to about the middle. I'm going to flip it, and then just about a half space from the corner there, I'm going to place 2 of them down. I'm going to place 1 in the middle just for spacing, and then build 2 more terrain ramps there. Oh, oops. Delete that, put that back. Okay, and then actually we can remove that now that we have the space. So that'll be where the little hill is, the first little hill in the track. And so just coming back in here to the terrain pieces, we are going to go all the way over here to the mountains. So you're looking for, I believe it is the mountain corner ledge. And we're going to use 2 of these. So we'll start all the way over here. You're just going to go to the corner, make sure it's lined up level with the terrain. And I'm going to go in about a half step and then over a whole cube. And I'm just going to place the terrain piece there. And now I'm going to come all the way over, and I'm actually going to line this one up at the corner. So I'm going to line it with the big terrain block and the tiny one there, just right in the corner, and place it right at that spot. So there we have it. So that's how it should look. If I went too quick, my apologies. Feel free to wind the video up and pause it as you go through, but that's all of the terrain pieces that we need. Alright, so now that we've done the terrain, we're going to go ahead and place the tiles down for the path for the water. So we're going to go to the basic blocks and go all the way over until we come to the small floor piece. And I'm actually just going to come down here to the ground, right to the corner of that first terrain block that we placed. And I'm going to come in a tile distance from the corner. So if you start at the corner and just bring it over 1 full cube, it's going to start there. And I'm going to place 3 of these down. So 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to go up and place 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. And then I'm going to go up here and add 2. So that's 1 and 2. And now we're going to go across and build the station, or the straight path that runs where the station is. So you're going to place 13 tiles across. And then we're basically going to do the same thing on this other side as we did across the way by building 3 tiles, then 3 more above that, so there's 6, and then you're going to put 2 right there. And so then this side looks just like the other side. You've got 8 tile pieces there, and then 13 across the middle. And so there you have it. So that looks identical to the other side. Alright. So now I'm actually just going to grab this tile so I can pick it up real quick. And we're going to build the straightaway here, leaving the station. So you're going to place 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you're going to place 8 tile pieces there. And then you're going to put 8 more across here, so that's 4. And then you're going to go up and place 4 more there. And then you're going to line this between the 4 tiles, and you're going to place 3 of them here. So you'll have those 11 tiles there. Then just grab this corner one, and you're going to build another straightaway. So you're going to place 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you're going to place there, so you'll make a box. And now we're going to go across the way here. And you're going to place those 4 there. So you've got 4, 2 in the middle, and then another 4. And then I just do this so I don't lose track of my spacing, even though the ramp is going to go here. I build those 4 there. We're going to place 8 more tile pieces here. And then come over to about the middle of that tile piece there, and we're going to place 5 across the way. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to line that one there, 4 and 5. And then we're going to come up to the middle there and place 2 down. So that's 1 and 2. And then put 1 right across the top there. So that is... Now we're just going to come down. Following that same path, we're going to place the tile there. We're going to put 4 in that spot, place 1 tile there to bridge the gap. 4 more there. So that is the basic path that the track takes on the ground level. So now we'll go ahead and head up towards the hills. So we're going to grab this one here, about 4 in. Grab this tile, and you're actually going to build it out. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So you'll place 7 tiles going up this way to the ramp. So those are the 7 there. And then you're going to build across here to fill the space in. So I place those and there. Now I place 1 tile there, then 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So you've got 6 of those tiles there. Alright, so we'll come over here and we're looking for the long wedge block. So we're coming over here to the left and we're looking for the long wedge block, and we're actually going to place 3 of these going up. So you'll place 1 here. You'll place another one. And then the 3rd one. And then you can go across the way and place the other ramp block. And then go down. And place it there. So those 3. So now we have the hills completed. And actually, let's come over here and place 2 of them right in the middle. There we go. So after you've placed 1 and 2, so the track is now complete down there for the hill. Now let's head up here to the top. So we'll just go ahead and grab this tile so we have the small floor ready to go. We'll go up here to the mountain top. And we're going to place 7 tile pieces down. And come over here to the other side, and you're just lining it up along that edge, and you're going to place 7 more tile pieces down. And then you're going to connect the 2 groups together, so you'll place 3 tile pieces across here. And then we'll start up here, and you're going to actually place 5 of them going across the side. And I believe it's 5 more here. So we're going to fill these in. And we'll run 5 along the side there. And then you're going to go across the way and put the other 5 across there. So there you have it. And that is the top of the mountain. So that'll complete the track layout. Of course, if I went too quickly, feel free to pause the video at any point and watch that section again. I also made this handy track layout blueprint. It just shows the overhead placement of the tiles and blocks, so you might find that helpful too. So now that we have the tile pieces down, we have to place the path that the ride car will follow. So we're going to go over here to the Creativa toys, and we're going to go find the Path Creator toy. And I don't know the best way to describe it, but we're going to place the points of the path in between the tiles. And now we're going to go follow this direction. We're going to go 2 tiles over, so 1 and 2. Place the other point there. And again, I'm just lining it up right on the line of the tile. Next, we're going to come to the end here, and we're actually going to go back 3 from that point there. So 1, 2, and 3. You're going to place another point of the path there, and then go back to that spot just at the start of the turn, and you're going to place a point there. Now we're going to come up, and we're going to place it right on the line between those tile pieces there. Now we're going to go all the way across, and we're going to place it right here at the start of the turn. And then you're going to line up this point right between those 3 tile pieces there. And then go across the way, and you're going to place it right in between those 2 there. Now the next point is going to be very similar. It's all the way across this way, and you're going to place it between those 2 tile pieces there. And then you're going to go just right between those 2 and place a point there. Now this is a short one. You're going to place it right between those 2, and then go to the corner of, right in the middle of these 4 tile pieces and place a point there. Now we're going to start the ramp, and we're just going to go up. So it's just rising above that ramp piece there, and place the point. Then you're going to go right to the top of the hill, and you're going to place a point right there. And you're going to make almost a mirror direction. You're going to place a point just floating at the point to go down, so you'll have a point there. And then the boat's going to come down off the hill, so you're going to place it right in between, or in the middle of this tile there. And then right in the middle of that tile there. So it's a little different. These are going to go right in the middle of the tile pieces. And to go across the way, so that'll be a point right there. Just right in the middle of the tile. And then we'll go back to placing it in between the tile pieces by coming right over to these 2 and placing it between these 2 tile pieces. Now we'll come down, and just like with the other turn, we're going to place a point between those 2 tiles, and then a point across the way in between those 2 tiles. And then you're going to put a point right in between those 4, so that'll be the turn. And come all the way over just to the start, almost to the start of the hill, and you're going to place a point right there. Should be right in the second tile just before the hill starts. Then you're going to place a point just at right on the incline there. It's penetrating that ramp piece that we've got. And then you're going to build another point just right at the top between those 2 tiles there. And we're just going up the hill at this point until we get to the top. And you're going to place a point right there at the top of the hill. Then you're going to come over right about in the middle of that 3rd tile piece and place a point there. Then you're going to place a point right, let's see, right between those 2 tiles there. Because now the boat's going to kind of round the bend. You'll place a point between these 2 tile pieces here. And then you go across the way, and you're going to place a point right in the middle here of this tile piece here. Next, you're going to come down and put a point right in the tile, because the boat's kind of going to come up to that edge. And then you're going to place a point right between those 2 tile pieces. And now right at the start, right where the drop happens, you're going to place a point right at the start of the drop. And then you can come down to about midway, just right in the middle of that wedge block there. You're going to place a point. Then you'll come right here to the drop right at the bottom of the hill, and you're going to place a point right between those 2 tile pieces there. Then you're going to come down and place it right in the middle of that second to last tile piece there. You're going to place one between those two tile pieces there. And you're going to place a point right in the middle of those 4 tile pieces there. And then you're going to place a point between those 2 tile pieces there. And then the last one is actually going to go right there just before the start of the turn. So that'll be the last point that you put down. Alright, so that is the path that the boat will take, or that the ride car will take along the path. Now we just need to go ahead and set the path to looped. So we're going to go back to that starting point, go into the logic and then the properties section, and just change it to looped. You can leave everything else the same, the speed, rail slide, any of that stuff, just leave that all the same. So that'll complete the motion path. Of course, if I went too quickly, feel free to pause the video at any point and loop back to watch that section again. I also made this handy motion path blueprint. It just shows the overhead placement of the path points, so you might find that helpful too. So the next step we have to do is change a few of the path point speeds. So we're going to go ahead and go to that first point, and we're going to change the property default speed to 30. Over to this point here, and we're going to go ahead and change this one also to 30. So then we'll come over to this point in between the 4 tile pieces just before the hill, and we're going to change this speed property to 25. And we'll also set the next point to 25 as well. And then just now at the top of the hill, we're going to change that point to 25 as well. And then coming down the hill, because the boat is picking up speed, we're going to set this property to 300. And then the point at the base of the hill, because the boat's now hit the water, it's going to slow down a bit. We're going to set this one to 200 because the boat is coming off of the hill. Now you can go, let's see, it travels along here. Then the next point is just at the, it's actually going to be on the hill itself. So we're going to go ahead and go to the point right in the middle of the hill. We're going to set this property to 25. And you're going to set all the points going up to 25 as well, because it's just climbing up the hill. So these 4 points going up, they're all going to be set to 25. And we're going to set this one to 25. And then when the boat reaches the top, that one is also going to be set to 25. Now the boat here, you're going to come right at the start of the drop, and we're going to set this point to 25 because the boat will hit the edge and be very slow, giving the player a chance to look down over the hill. And then of course the boat now picks up speed, so you're going to change that next point there in the middle of the ramp. You're going to set this one to 300. And then right at the very base, the point there at the bottom, between those two tile pieces, you're going to set this speed to 300, because it's just going so quick, we want that speed to maintain. As it hits the edge here, as it starts to turn, you can set this percentage point down to 250. And then right at the curve, you can set this percentage point down to 200. This property here, this is going to go to 150. And then I believe these percentage points, they'll just stay at 100. Yeah, so then the last ones are all going to they'll remain the same, that default 100. There we go. So those are the ones that you'll want to change for the speed. So now we've got that. Now let's go ahead and make sure that we've added the log flume boat. So we're going to go over here to our vehicles tab. And you want the ground vehicles, and if you go over here to the right, there it is, the Splash Mountain log. So go ahead and place that in the world. And now you can link it to the path point. So we'll go ahead and do a new path creation. Come here to the starting point and just choose Toy Box Path. By default, it should start up for you and then automatically slow down. You want to go ahead and try to grab it. Let's see. Right. There we go. And you'll go into the properties for that vehicle, choose Toy Box Path, and choose the Orient Along Path, set that to on. You'll leave everything else the same. Don't turn the driving physics on because that will eliminate all the different speed settings we set for the points. So you can leave that off. So now the long flume boat will travel along the path. So that'll complete the motion path settings. Of course, if I went too quickly, feel free to pause the video at any point and watch that section again. Here is that handy motion path blueprint. I've now updated it to show the overhead settings for a few of those path points that we changed. So hopefully you'll find that helpful too. So now with the path finished, we're now ready to go ahead and build the station for the log flume to come up to. I'm going to go ahead and go into the building sets group 3 with all the Main Street stuff, and I'm going to go all the way down till I get to... till I find it here. I think it is the Main Street green railing. And I'm actually going to go ahead and go over here to the corner, and I'm going to set it just at the start of the cave, so right there. And I'm going to place 7 of these down, so you're going to place 1 at that tile there, and then you're going to place 7 of them going across. So that's 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then I'm going to place 1 of them here, and then we'll go ahead and place 7 of these Main Street green railings, leaving the middle section open. And so then you're going to come down to the Decorations tab, and you're going to go ahead and choose the 1 sidewalk piece, and just line that there in between those 2 Main Street railings. So that'll be the station. So now we'll get started with placing plants around the ride. To save time, for those of you who've made it this far and don't want to watch me place all the plants, I've created a separate video for that process. It's uploaded today and available now, so if you'd like to decorate yours exactly as mine, I'll link to it in the video description below. Then just come back here for the finishing touches. Of course, feel free to decorate your ride however you'd like. It's my favorite part of the build process because it can be creative to how you want it to look. We'll now cut ahead and place the Splash Mountain set piece. So now that the plants are placed, we're going to head back here to this big open space, and we're going to place the set piece for Splash Mountain. So you're going to go ahead and go to the set pieces. Oops, there it is. Whoops, there it is. Okay, so now you'll grab Splash Mountain, and right now you're getting that red bounding box. You're going to want to go ahead until just where it turns blue, so not there, but just right to the edge, right there. And then you want to run it up right till it turns red and go back a half step. There you go. So you're going to place it right in that area there. And since you got it so close to that wall, it should be just enough space to run right alongside of it. So as it happens, even though I filmed this tutorial several times, I seem to constantly gloss over changing the sky dome. So at this time, you'll want to change your toy box sky to evergreen woodland sky. So now that we have our plants in place, and we've set the Splash Mountain set piece in the back, it's time for our next step, placing our townspeople. To save time, I've already got them chosen and set their behaviors to either jumping or cheer. You can pick the same ones I've got, or you can pick your own. There are a lot of great characters to choose from. Once you're ready, we can go ahead and move them into place. So I'll move Big Al over here and just rotate him. And we'll come over here, grab Henry and move him. Place him there. And grab Mr. Toad. And I have him way up on top of the hill here, just before the drop. And then we can go ahead and grab Chip. And I have Chip jumping here just at the top of the hill when the boat's coming up. And then we got Dale, and we'll have Dale at the end greeting the boat after it comes down off of the drop. So now we'll go ahead and place an action button at the station. This way the player doesn't have to wait for the boat to come along, so that when the button is pressed, come over here to the path point, it will then start to reset and play. So now the player can press the button, and here comes the boat. It's like having your own Fast Pass. And now it's time for the finishing touches. We'll go ahead and change the terrain style to be the Dragon's Domain. Then we'll go ahead and change the plant style to the Disney Dragon Terrain. So I find it's easier to use the magic wand when changing the tile pieces. We're going to go ahead and set that style to water. And for all of the climbs, we'll go ahead and set that style to metal number 2. And then don't forget to change these 3 as well. And there we go. So now our log flume boat is making the climb. And so that'll conclude the build tutorial for my Splash Mountain ride. I hope you found it enjoyable. You can have a lot of fun with this build and theme it to all kinds of styles and combinations. You can grab the Lone Ranger pieces and theme it to Big Thunder. You can use all the Nicelander pieces and make it into a Wreck-It Ralph ride. If you want to go to infinity and beyond, you can use any combination of the Toy Story playset pieces, or go for a chilly theme and make it Frozen. You can go and search for the Lost Boys and make it into a Peter Pan themed ride. Or if Tim Burton is more of your style, you could go with The Nightmare Before Christmas. With Disney Infinity, there truly are infinite possibilities. If you can dream it, you can do it. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to check out my other Disney Infinity videos, and please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys later.